Alright, howdy ho everybody. Back from my business trip. I was gone for a few weeks and didn't have the opportunity to really post anything up. But I want to start with something I'd seen a little bit ago. Uh, this, you know, again continues to reinforce what myself and other gun control advocates have said time and time and time again. Um, all right, so what the CSGV, and by the way, Newton Action Alliance, a group that was formed to exploit the victims of the Newtown massacre in order to push more gun control, have done is they have joined forces to put a petition out against the DOJ um, to stop that $2.4 million grant to go to the NSSF to distribute gun locks. Now, it's not because CSGV does not believe in gun locks. In fact, they want to make gun locks mandatory. Um, they want to put as much gun control out as possible. Um, it's just a simple fact that the NSSF opposes them politically. And actually, here's the reason right here. So this is something you don't agree with us legislatively. We don't think the government should give you money. Now, bear in mind these gun control groups constantly demand federal funding for their anti-firearm freedom studies. That always seem to show that quote firearms. Or people having guns, it causes a whole bunch of murders, mayhem, and stuff like that. And I use the term studies because they're not really studies. And in fact, ever since they started on these studies, those studies have been getting torn apart. Like take for example Arthur Kellerman's study, they got ripped to the pieces. In fact, that guy didn't even want to release his raw data or his methodology, up until the federal government threatened to revoke his funding. And then after it did get released, those in the research community, no matter what your beliefs were, like, wow, really? No, the thing got torn apart. Um, but again, as I say, this is not about gun safety at all. This isn't about common sense laws. This is about them being control freak. This is about groups like CSGV and Newton Action being control freaks. These gun control groups don't really care if your child's safe or not. If they really cared if your child was safe, they say, you know what, we don't agree with the NSSF on a lot of stuff, but you know what, this is something noble what they're doing. Now, by the way, I don't agree with the $2.4 million going to the NSSF for this, but it's on different grounds. It's on the same principle that I don't believe that federal funding should be going to fund, quote, gun violence research either. But alas, at least I have some principle, there. I oppose the funding going to both the gun control groups and the groups that don't have gun control on their agenda. And by the way, if you don't believe me, it's about taking away your gun, whether it's now or 10 years, you're sorely mistaken. Check this article I hear out from the. All right, so as stringent as the UK gun laws are, you've got groups and publications, left-wing publications that still say those laws are, quote, inadequate and chaotic. Guys, again, more proof on proof train. That gun control advocates really are trying to take your gun laws. And yes, the more you give them, the more you let them have, the more they're going to take in the future. Not to mention the fact that, you know what, I don't believe we should have universal background checks. And quite frankly, I would like to see the Hughes Amendment of 1986 repealed. I'd also like to see the NFA Title II restrictions repealed. Especially, when it comes to SBR's selective fire capabilities and sound suppressors, get it. So, yeah. So it's not just the slippery slope. Slippery slope is part of it. But guess what? We've already got those restrictions, and the gun control advocates are still asking for more. And they're going to keep on even if we get to a state just as the UK. So FUDs, take note of that. So right now they claim that they're not after your shotgun. Well, they claim that they're not after anybody's guns, even though, currently, they are definitely and without a doubt trying to get my AR-15s banned, as well as several other different types of firearms. They are going for semi-automatic carbines. And after that, they'll probably go after handguns again. They'll probably give another whack at handguns. But, by the way, the, quote, assault weapons ban does target some handguns, just the same as it does target some shotguns. Hell, they target handguns in California, too. But after that, they're coming after your hunting rifle, your hunting shotgun, hell. And of course, they're not going to call it hunting rifles or hunting shotguns just yet. They're going to call it stuff like sniper rifles or poacher guns. And hell, even if they do, hell, they just might come after your hunting rifles and shotguns after, they get enough people who are anti-hunting. Just the same as the UK banned fox hunting. You should really get on Facebook with some of these FUDs over there in the UK and find out how things really are there, and how good of a time they are. Go ahead, call up a shooting club. Ask them just how well they're doing. It's pretty rough over there for a gun owner. So, FUDs, again, you might think you're safe now, and you might think that just because people like Shannon Watts are giving you a pat on the head, that you're somehow getting something in return from the gun control lobby, but you're not. They actually respect you a lot less than they respect us. By the way, a FUD is somebody who seems to only be concerned about that one or two hunting rifles they have in their closet, and couldn't give a damn about anyone else's firearm rights. In fact, a lot of them, there ain't a gun control law that they don't support, unless that gun control law interferes with that ability for them to hunt. But most of them don't realize that until the police are questioning their storage of their firearms or questioning their need to own a firearm to begin with. So that's what a FUD is in a nutshell. I used to call them field and streamers until I heard of the term FUD. I might I might put a video where I go a little bit more into depth to responding to the FUDs. But this just isn't going to be the video right now. So, moving on to the next one. Alright. The picture of the girl shown in this video is Christina Taylor Green. She was killed by Jared Lee Losner in that attack on Gabby Giffords in 2011. Now, what U.S. Gun Violence 6 is saying is that apparently because Flake didn't vote in favor of the Manchin-Tomei bill, which is a, quote, universal background check law nationwide, that he was somehow not voting in her interest. But here's a little bit of a problem with that. That bill wouldn't have saved her life. Here's the reason why. Jared Lee Lochner passed a background check when he purchased his Glock. Jared Lee Lochner was not a prohibited person. So, U.S. gun violence is exploiting her death and her memories, for his own political agenda. So, whatever Senator Flake does in his life, he will never be as bad as U.S. Gun Violence 6. That's how it is. And guys, this is just a sample of some of the stuff I've seen with the gun control advocates over the past few weeks. And actually, really, quite frankly, since I've been involved in this debate, since I've been paying attention to this debate, since the 90s. So, again, I wanted to put this video out. I'll probably go in. I've got a few more ideas for some more videos here in the future. I just need to get some time together and put them together. Other than that, y'all take her easy.